So let's look at this chart, okay? So we're looking at 6:01 p.m. Eastern. I did it for New York. That gives you the universal time of the 30th in England. And, we're focused, obviously. Hold on, let me just... Oh, no, that's gone. Okay. So we're focused. I just want you to see the whole chart before we zoom in. We're focused, obviously, on the Saturn Retrograde, right? You see when I zoom in, you see the little R here. So it just started there. And to be honest, I think it's between like 6 o'clock and 6:01. I don't know, but who cares, right? It's when it starts. But we want to identify the chart ruler, Sagittarius, which is Jupiter, right? And Gemini, right? So that's an important theme for the story. This is a snapshot of what's going to happen between June 29th and November 15th. Now, that overlaps election day. It overlaps Pluto retrograde to the 11th, but more importantly, Pluto in Capricorn in the 29th degree, right? Now, when we look at this, we have to look at all the energy in terms of, what could play out during this duration of time, because this snapshot, and this is what you do for transits, right? It's just like if you're looking at a new moon or a full moon chart, you look at the exact moment that it gets to that new energy. And then the chart at that time is telling you the story of the duration of time. So when you're doing, let's say, like the Capricorn full moon, that is strongly, you can feel that energy 2 weeks prior and 2 weeks after, but the manifestations can go all the way to what? Capricorn season to the Capricorn new moon. So it's 6 months, how it vibrates out in terms of your experiences. So that's how you look at those things. And it's, really important and really helpful. So, but we still want to look at the luminaries, right? Even though we're focused on this and we're going to, really focus on that, we have to look at the Aries moon in the 5th house, right? So, and this has, just so you know, the lunar mansion behind this is Venus, and it's in the 5th house. So there's definitely this impulsivity and this assertive, initiating, aggressive energy emotionally. And in a mundane chart, the moon is the citizens. It's the people. It's us, right? So there's a lot about creativity, dating, romance, fun sex, right? The high school, college kids, independence. So one thing I will let you know, you're going to see more probably protests and civil unrest with the youth, high school, college, right? A lot of the Gen Zs, remember now college ended, but they were, especially if we're still dealing with, Israel, Palestine stuff, they were ending the school year in crazy protests, and hey, I'm proud of them, right?
Well, the draft is up now. So
I know
a lot of noise.
Government just announced 18 to 26-year-olds, and we got a 24-year-old, so we're scrambling to tell him to get some medical stuff because yeah. But what's comedy? If you know any 18 to 26-year-olds, they are not going to nobody's war, and they are not killing nobody. They are on their Snapchat and their phones. But I'll give Gen Z credit, right? They see through the BS that too many of us baby boomers, even millennials and Gen Xers have accepted in this world. They're like, there should be nobody enslaved. There should be nobody oppressed. There should be no genocide. There should be, you know what I mean? So if you inform them, right, now they're starting to get informed about the Congo and realizing, well, wait a minute. We're getting all this technology and stuff from children being enslaved in Africa and the Congo, right? So these kids, like, give them credit. Like, they're not, remember, that's Pluto Sag, Gen Z. They are rebelling against, because if you remember during the Pluto Sag, right? So when you're born during that, you hold that energy. What did we experience at that time? The veils were lifted where we started to see, Pluto digs up the secrets of what? Oh, we started finding out about the Catholic Church, about all the boys that were molested. You found out in Philadelphia, in Boston, and this and that started to come out. The deception and the lies, the veils of the Catholic Church. And then what happened? We started to have all these religious Christian pastors. I'm sorry, I have sinned. What was his name? Jimmy Swaggart or one of them. I forget all the names, right? Remember that? Crying, right? So that was Gen Z at that time.
Yeah.
So you see it. You can track back in history. Pluto, Scorpio, millennials, 83 to 95, HIV, AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, right? Yeah. If you meet a millennial, Pluto, Scorpio generation, they are about their money. They're about their power. They're about their sex. If you ask them, you know, they'll be, oh, I'm an influencer. Right. And they charge so much money. Like if you ask them their prices, you're like, what? But they got the balls to do it. And sometimes they get the money.
That's true.
Millennials can make money super fast. That's the Pluto Scorpio generation. But they can identify all their issues and problems, but they don't always work on it. They could tell you, oh, I was abused in my home and my mom kicked my cat and my dad used to hit my mom and my uncle touched my butt and this happened and this happened. But are you doing the work? They could talk about it and identify it, but they got to do the work. You see? So each generation has their thing, you know? So it's
each generation has their thing.
Right?
Cheryl has her hand up in case you didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Oh, shoot.
Can y'all hear me?
Now we can. Welcome.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm like, I'm sitting up here trying to talk to these people. They just ignore me.
No, we would never do that.
Wow.
You were muted.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Did you hear us when you first came in? We were trying
to. Maybe you were ignoring us, Cheryl.
Yeah, I can hear y'all, but then I was trying to connect to the Wi-Fi and.
Well, we're just glad you're here. Welcome. So what's your question and what do you want to know?
Well, how much have I missed?
Well, you missed, you'll see it on the recording. You missed me breaking down the 12 houses, and now we're looking at the Saturn retrograde and Pisces chart. But don't worry, you'll get all the information and you'll get all the details. So now we're looking at this on June 29th at 6:01 p.m. Eastern. Saturn begins its retrograde until November 15th. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's what this chart is.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, that's what this chart is, and we're talking about this energy and what can play out for us collective. Okay.
I'm sorry. Somebody decided to recline on my vehicle. Oh my God.
What?
I'm going through it right now. I don't have any questions, so proceed.
Okay. All right. Well, so glad you're here, Cheryl. So now we also have to look at the sun. Right? We're looking at the chart ruler, Jupiter in the 7th house, right? We just talked about it. This is Jupiter in the marketplace, Jupiter in your relationships and marriage. So quite literally, we could see a lot of weddings this summer, right? Jupiter in Gemini starting on June 29th, right? But what we want to talk about, I just want to identify these things, but get into what Saturn is speaking about, because it's, you know, Jupiter's headed towards squaring Saturn. That happens later in the year, right? And this retrograde, I forgot what degree it will go back to. I don't think it's too far. It may only be 15 or 16 degrees because Saturn moves pretty slow, but it is going to move. But Jupiter is only in Gemini for a year, right? Until June 2nd, 2025. So there will be a connection. And it will probably be, I would say, in the fall. I don't remember the exact date of that square. Okay, so we'll talk about that. But once they get within 10, squares.
Hey, second.
Huh?
So it's going to be in Leo. I think it's at 13 degrees Saturn, right?
Say it again. Did Saturn what?
13 degrees Saturn in Leo.
No, Saturn's in Pisces.
Later on. Oh, Saturn's in Pisces. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Saturn's in Pisces till February 2026. Saturn and Neptune will be in exact conjunction in Aries, okay, at that time. And I'll do a coffee talk on that as we get closer to it. Okay, so right now, though, we want to look at the sun. And see here, it's at 8 degrees. So the lunar mansion behind this sun, you guys, is Saturn. Now this is deeper astrology, but it's just another layer. So when you're dealing with the sun in the 8th house and the moon in the 5th house, this time from June 29th to November 15th is very sexually charged. So we can have also 8th house sun, a lot of Kundalini awakenings. Saturn retrograde in Pisces, we have to reanalyze, reassess, and revisit our spiritual practices, our spiritual discipline, right? Our daily routines of paying homage to God, source, creator, and doing whatever we can do spiritually, meditating, toning, grounding and earthing in nature, right? Guided meditations, Joe Dispenza, things on YouTube, spending time with your crystals, just mindfulness and stillness. When you have the sun in the 8th house, it's illuminating what? The occult knowledge. There'll be a big focus, Cancer, feeling connected to astrology, feeling connected to human design, tarot, numerology, but also Kundalini awakenings, the spiritual realm. We are in the 5th dimension. Make sure you watch the episode with Debbie Solaris. She talks about that in the Galactic Federation, but just energetically, right? With all these X-class, and this is science. This is not spiritual woohoo, right? You can look it up. We've been having record numbers of solar flares from the sun affecting our actual DNA in our bodies, and then Gaia, Mother Earth. I don't know if you guys have even felt it, but in 2024, so far, we've had more than all, I think, of 22 and 23 combined. It's been that much, these blasts, M-class and X-class. I think S-class is the highest. And so that's what's been happening. So we are going through this shift, right? So people are having ascension syndromes. You could just wake up one morning out of nowhere and feel like somebody beat you up overnight. Body aches and pains all over, just lethargic, just kind of almost dizzy, like you feel like you're underwater. These are ascension syndromes. And quite literally, remember they announced, people may start seeing demon faces and stuff. Well, that's bullcrap. They're telling you that because the veils are so thin, the reptilian entities here on this planet, they cannot hold their, fake human form as long and as much. So you can see people shapeshift. That's why they came out with this disorder of demon faces. That's a lie. There's no disorder of seeing demon faces. People that you may see like that, it's because their asses are demons. Okay? And you may notice, and I'm telling you literally, this happened to me. In my backyard, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a person in my yard. I go out there was nobody there. But I know that I saw, and so you can see interdimensional beings, you could see elementals, you could see a lot of things at this time, right? And remember, with Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and this retrograde, now look at 19 degrees, right? It's kind of in a square, still in the energy to the Mercury, and very close to squaring the Venus. So let's talk about Saturn retrograde squaring Venus in 8th house. There can be what are squares? Challenges, difficult energies, opportunities for growth, but it can be a lot of discomfort around our relationships and our finances. So this can also create affairs, divorce, financial issues, right? You can see a lot of, Venus Cancer. This also can indicate, I believe at this time, we're going to see some stuff financially, even with, remember they announced they said maybe September, they're going to lower the interest rates. They haven't lowered them yet. And they were saying, it may happen in September. So we could see a lot of changes. Venus Cancer, that's going to tie you in to real estate, right? Because remember, this is actually like America's chart, because America's chart is a Sagittarius Ascendant. So this is affecting our homeland and our homes. Pisces, Neptune, Saturn, television. So you could also see, I'm not predicting this, but Neptune is disease, Pluto is virus, right? And we see now Pluto still retrograde to the 1 degree in the 3rd house, local communities. This could be pandemic 2, hopefully not another lockdown, right? Because Saturn can bring in pestilence and stuff like that. Saturn in Pisces, we're dealing with healthy boundaries, restricting spirituality, restricting religion. And it's in the fourth house of your home, right? That could literally be the authorities locking you in your home again. Okay. Let's hope not, but I just have to mention it because these are potential outcomes that you can see. But Saturn in general, when it's retrograde in Pisces, is asking you, how have you been doing? Are you practicing compassion and empathy and grace and mercy for yourself first and then to others? Are you practicing healthy boundaries? Don't have that neighbor coming into your home and destroying your peace and gossiping and talking crap. No. Say, girl, listen, I can't have you over, or even like in the home, it could just be talking over the phone because this is your home and your emotional mind. Saturn retrograde is asking you to have healthy boundaries in all of your relationships, but especially in your home.
Yep.
Affecting your emotional mind. Go ahead. You have a question?
No, I just agreed with you.
Yeah. No, it's true. But also Saturn is asking you, what is your spiritual discipline? What are you doing? Do you wake up every day and just kind of like aimlessly just, go on your rote memory, the subconscious programming and just, I have to go to work. I have to go home. I have to get the kids. I have to go eat dinner. I have to cook dinner. I have to do. No, you've got to take time out. And I promise you, please honor Saturn. Saturn does not play. It will kick your butt. I don't care if you're talking about the first Saturn return, the second, or if we get to 87, 88, the third. We've got to honor Saturn wherever it's at. It just spent the last 6 years at home in Capricorn and Aquarius. Well, now it's in Pisces, and this is not the same. But Saturn finds its planetary joy where? Sorry, I didn't mention that, in the 12th house, right? Jupiter in the 11th house. The 9th house is the sun. Okay. Venus is the 5th. Those are the ones I didn't mention. Mars is the 6th. But, the 12th house, Saturn's in its planetary joy. Because why? Saturn's restrictions. Aren't you restricted in a prison, jail, or hospital? Doesn't it make sense? And Saturn is the great malefic. So those are not positive things. So when Saturn's in Pisces, it can restrict your spirituality. It can limit and bring fear and anxiety to you. Saturn stress. It's the government, the authorities, the karmic lessons, the karmic teacher. So when it's in Pisces, it's through the lens of spirituality, creativity, imagination, boundaries. Pisces has no boundaries. Saturn's coming in telling Pisces like, okay, stop it. You don't need 50 people in your house every week. Saturn is like, limit your connections, because you have to understand, whoever is within 6 feet of us or our auric field, we're absorbing their energy. You don't have to be in an intimate relationship, kissing and touching on them. Whoever is in your auric field energetically, you can pull in their grief, their depression, their gossiping, their negativity, their pessimistic viewpoints in nature. Saturn's like, listen, you got to have boundaries in your life. You have every right to protect yourself spiritually, right? If you go over to Auntie's house and Auntie is always acting a fool and talking bad about you, stop going over there.
Yep.
Just because she's family, you don't need to go do that and go through that experience.
I've definitely been feeling this.
Yeah, because family can hurt you more than anybody, you guys.
That's my heart. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but it's true. And so Saturn in Pisces, and then, hey,
Saturn
Neptune,
and Pisces, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Let
Neptune.
me ask you.
Go
So,
ahead.
I'm sorry if I spaced out. Didn't mean
No,
to.
no.
But so I have a friend, and they're 58,
Okay.
and so they're right at their Saturn return, right?
Okay. Yeah, she's got it in Pisces. Yeah.
Right, and it's in Pisces. So, I'm trying to think of what do I tell her.
You
So
have to
she
tell
is
her
aware of-
to practice, to do some sort of spiritual practice, even if she's just getting in the prayer closet on her knees praying. It doesn't have to be, right? You could be a Christian and do that 15, 30
Sure.
minutes a day, a Muslim, a Jewish, right? Whatever. It's about the spiritual practice. That's how we honor Saturn. In Pisces, do something. You have to stay in an energy of gratitude. But you can tell her, girl, hey, no more negative self-talk. compassion, empathy, grace, and mercy for yourself, right? You know, this happens to us all the time. We forget something in the grocery store, like, oh, damn it, I'm so stupid. No, you're not. No, you are not. It's a mistake. It's an accident. We're allowed to have them. And guess what? That's probably something on purpose, right? You may go back to the store later that afternoon or evening, and you may say a kind word or a blessing that saves someone's life. Your energy, your light may come back to the store, and then the thing you were looking for, you may find that, and then 2 other items that you need for the house that could be on sale. Right. Or you may go back another time or another day, and you get a message or a blessing from someone else. So there are no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. And so we have to start to slow down, give ourselves compassion and grace and empathy, and then also just smell and pay attention, like really have the sixth sensory experience, right? Yeah. Astrology, my hope for you guys with astrology, the way you implement it into your life, you can become literally a Jedi. You need to start to track the moon, see these planets in orbit, and see how you affect in these experiences, right? I still kick myself that I didn't tell my wife to not go hiking that morning, because the minute she left, I'm texting her and then I'm having visions. I couldn't sleep 5:50 in the damn morning. I didn't want to get up till like 6:45 that morning, right? And I'm sitting there like envisioning her chart and the transit of Mars in Taurus on her ascendant squaring Pluto in Aquarius in her 10th house. That's what happened. She fell out in public, and it was weird and sudden, Aquarius. And it was hitting her natal Jupiter. She's hiking. That's where you use what? Jupiter, hips and thighs. That's why I did that teaching video, and she was okay with me doing it. You can't get more literal. But that's what I'm saying with astrology, right? So we want to understand these energies so we can, it doesn't mean things bad, we won't, stop or prevent bad things happening, but we can understand it or really understand it. We can explain it, but sometimes it doesn't make us so depressed and distraught. We're like, exactly. Okay, that was just Mars acting a fool. Right. I hear you, God, right? I got to slow down. Yep. Because, we all have accidents. We can trip in our own home over like something on the carpet. Right? But then you could laugh and be like, damn, that Mars and Taurus is being an MF right now.
Yeah. Okay. It helps you move past things and heal.
Yes.
Also when necessary.
One thing I've learned, and I'm really practicing a lot, is that I when things aren't going the way I think they should go, or I'm, because I'm in Aries and I like to push, I pull back. I pull back and I really trust the process. Like I really put my trust in God.
Yeah.
Because really, it's not me. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me to what's the word I want to say? It's not for me to decide what's right or wrong or how it should be.
We can't control everything and outcomes, and we can't force everything.
So I've just really learned to surrender and just put the trust in God. And you know what? It's working for me. It's working way better than me stressing out. Yeah. That's
what we have to do, right? I always say #deepwater faith.
Yeah.
It's super important.
It's hard to do, though. It sounds so simple, but it's
you're right. But listen, everything in life, anything that's good is not easy.
No, I just gave up.
Spiritual discipline, being patient, having faith.
Yeah.
Right? Not trying to control and manipulate things in life. Like, even with our siblings, our parents, our kids.
I know.
We all have, most of us, I'm sure here have children, but you can't. You can punish, you can discipline this and that, but you can't control them, and they're their own beings and souls. We have to kind of understand that what we desire for their lives may not be what they desire. And once you see your child's chart, oh my God, then you're like, oh wow, okay, right? Because what it lets you know, one, how they perceive you and their father, right, or their mother, their parents, right? Because you could say one thing, but remember Charlie Brown and Peanuts, like wah, 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 wah. They hear something else, right? So that's why the chart of your child, you want to learn it because you're like, oh, that's how they see me.
But it's also like there's so much, it's so intricate. There's karma involved. There's like, your destiny. There's so much involved. It's like really, and you really learn that you don't know much at all.
And
that's
listen, and that's what's so great, because the more knowledge you gain, you realize how little you actually know.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's where I
think about people still programmed in the matrix. They get very arrogant, right? And trust me, I respect and love higher education and stuff, but like, you talk to somebody with I'm two masters and I'm a doctorate and this and that, right? Yes. But they think they have all the answers and they know everything. But those are the same people that get closed off to new information, new knowledge. And then they may not realize, but you can realize and see through, they don't know that much at all. Just because you went through the school system, that is intended to brainwash and program you.
Well, they only learned what they were taught.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. For example, medical doctors.
Yeah.
Do you know only in 10 or now maybe 15% of medical schools that they teach the endocannabinoid system is inside of your body? That's the truth, right? So when you get THC or CBD, right, it's actually a good thing for your body. I'm not saying smoke it. You shouldn't smoke it. But if you eat it, right, it's good for you. The endocannabinoid system is in your human body. So when we don't have it, we're actually deficient. And I saw it with my mother with the dementia. When I would give her CBD gummies or THC, it helps with inflammation, arthritis in your body, but also it made her more verbal again.
Well, the thing is, it's there for a purpose.
Yes.
Like everything has a purpose.
It's not man-made, it's God-made, exactly. And that's all you need to check with.
Sure is. Cure everything, I feel like. We'll find out.
That's right. And you guys got to watch next week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I had Miss Elizabeth as a guest. She makes hemp popsicles and CBD popsicles, and she's going to be on Knowledge is Love podcast. So you guys look for that next week. And she talks a lot about it and how important it is, because, you can see it in your practical daily lives. And look, for this chart, what do you see here in the 8th house, right? This is the herbs, the plant medicine, marijuana, ayahuasca, mushrooms, the sun, Venus, Mercury. This tells you at this time, for this 29th of June to November 15th, not only do you want to get into the meditation, Kundalini awakenings, spirituality, astrology, human design, but you want to get into sea moss, ashwagandha, burdock root, spirulina, hemp, CBD, THC, things that can help you. What? Look at the sun. Help you with your vitality. Venus. Help you even with your blood sugar levels and your relationships. Mercury. Help you with your analytical, logical mind. It's telling you that in the chart. Okay? So also with this Aries moon, though, this is the time, and we have the nodes, right? The nodes are still here. Remember, to January 11, 2025, when you look at this Aries North node in the 5th house, this is the time to start your own business. You want to become as independent as possible. If they turn off the internet and shut this whole thing down, right, you want to diversify your finances. You want to have some money in a community bank, not just in the big, Wells Fargo, Chase, Citibank, whatever the big banks are, right? You want to be able to maybe invest in a little crypto, a little gold, a little silver, have some cash under your pillow or in your floor. Some people say have $300 to $500 just somewhere in your home, right? I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, but the only thing I can say is diversify is the smartest thing, because you don't know what could crash, what could fall and crumble. And if you got all your money in one place, that is a little risky.
Yeah.
That's all.
And you know what? The Canadian banks here have lowered their interest rate 0.5%. Yeah. They did that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and we're supposed to have our interest rates. The Federal Reserve is supposed to drop our interest rates here in September. So we'll see. We're waiting for that. Yeah. But all these people, and they're financial crooks. What they do to us is illegal. And so that's why I'm saying, look at this, the Aries North Node with the moon for the people. We have to be brave and courageous and initiate independence. The 5th house is what? Speculative gains. Turn your hobby and make some side money.
Yeah.
Remember when Lloyd Strahan was on my podcast, he was like, hey, you can learn numerology and do numerology readings and make a little side money. It doesn't have to be a career, but who knows, you know?
Yeah.
I feel the same way with astrology. Like, you know, you have to, I mean, but you guys, you can paint, you can sculpt, you can cook, you can dance, you can make jewelry, you could sew and knit things. But this is the time. The Aries North Node is telling you it's on you. Be the independent person. Be brave. Aries doesn't wait to ask for, you know, oh, should I do this? Aries just does it.
Yep.
Right? People are sitting around waiting to ask people. Aries is like, they're going. You're like, oh, where's the Aries? They're like out there doing it already.
Your statement.
Yeah, Aries started it up yesterday. Aries
Yeah.
is not waiting for tomorrow. They did it. They started yesterday.
We're done.
Yeah, exactly. I know, Robin and Pauline, I know. You guys are spark plugs. And that's how you should be, though. No, we can all learn from the Aries energy. And let me tell you, when Saturn and Neptune get there in February 2026, it's going to be a new beginning, a new world. Okay, a new reality. Right? So
When? What day? did you say?
February 2026, Saturn and Neptune dance together into Aries.
Wow.
Have an exact conjunction. It's going to be I'm going to do a coffee talk on it. It's going to be very powerful energy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm ready, honey. Yep.
It's going to be a fun time for the Aries. They're going to be like, hey, this is
For the world,
it's back to our world now.
Yeah.
Well, because Aries, remember this, Aries
Everybody's
doesn't,
energy.
well, yes, but it doesn't, Aries doesn't deal in victimhood. Aries is like, it's on me. I'm self-reliant. I did this. I'm doing this. I want this. Aries is I am the great I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why the real new year is at the equinox. This year, March 20th, most years, March 21st, 0 degrees Aries. It's a I'm telling you. And also, just so you know, if you meet people born 5 days before, like March, let's say March 16th on, or 5 days after to, let's say, the 25th, they are like supercharged people. So even the end of Pisces to the early degrees of Aries, because that 0 degree Aries is like boom, it's bringing in the spring equinox. It is a powerful point. Those people are here on a mission. Okay. So let's look at some other placements with this chart, because we do have Ceres, Goddess of Harvest in the second house. We talked about that when we were looking at the charts, but just in general, when you're looking at Capricorn, right? Because we have to look, even though, Pisces, Saturn's in Pisces, but Saturn's ruled by Aquarius and Capricorn. So looking at these two houses is important as well, looking at the story. There's no accident Ceres is in Capricorn at this time. Ceres is the goddess of harvest. It's literally connected to food. It's connected to your clothing and fashion, right? So people may feel a little bit more blacks, grays, whites, neutral colors, darker colors at this time. But Ceres in Capricorn, second house, it's getting your food, right? 5 senses, your food, your speech. You have to be in control of your food. Capricorn is the earth. We have to eat more fruits and vegetables, people. I don't judge or tell anybody what to eat, but just make sure you're getting your fruits and veggies in, the solar food, right? Capricorn is the jungle. It is the food that you pick off the trees and the vines and the plants. Okay? So that's important at this time too. Remember, you don't get properly hydrated just from drinking water. Sometimes you need to put the salt in there, or the fruit is the H3O. Okay, that's where you get proper hydration. Get your melons during the summer. This is June 29th. Get your melons, your watermelon, your cantaloupe, honeydew melon, blueberries, blackberries, cranberries, strawberries, very important. Okay. And then Pluto in the third house, it's retrograde too, right? Remember, it goes back into Capricorn September 1st. The retrograde ends October 11th, and then November 19th, it goes back into Aquarius for the next 20 years. But when you're dealing with the Pluto in the local community, this is social media, siblings. So there's a lot of transformations going on in our local communities. Think about it. What are you seeing? These driverless cars all over. They're all over in Arizona. What are you seeing? Uber Eats, everything is technology, dating apps, AI, social media. But also you're starting to see at restaurants, you have robots doing different jobs. You're starting to see that at different stores. Pay attention.
That freaks me out.
No,
That's just stupid.
no, it's crazy. But listen, pay attention. You're seeing the propaganda. This is what they want to do. They want to chip us in our hands and our heads for convenience. And that Neuralink with Elon Musk, they're starting to promote this more and more. And you're going to see it connected to a social credit score. Okay, this is where we're going to have to make big time choices where we may have to be willing to, live outside of the system or be a part of the system and then be a slave for the rest of our lives. So, there may come a point, but I think one thing we have to understand, and this is what I would tell you to watch the episode with Debbie, it was really powerful, but she said the Galactic Federation is changing some of the timelines of some of these like apocalyptic events are being, kind of broken up. And I do believe that we are being watched. And I do believe that they will not allow nuclear war. I do believe extra, what do you want to call them? Aliens, ETs, Anunnaki, whoever. I do feel in my heart of hearts, they are going to stop that. They will not let humanity get to that place. I don't care about the Russian ships over there in Cuba now, and that's why they're doing this draft crap.
Right.
War is money. We all know this.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They go and destroy Ukraine, and then they get the contracts to rebuild it. Same thing in Iraq.
Yeah.
Thing.
Humanity is going to win.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
it really
also-
is.
And also, they've been keeping track, to go back on that one. When you go into the store, they ask for you to sign up with your number and your phone number and all that, so they can give you special rewards or whatever. It's just to keep track of each individual and their account.
Well, think about it right now with these CR codes. What if you're a human being and you don't own a cell phone?
Mm-hmm.
What, you're telling me I can't go into a store because I don't own a cell phone? Or I can't go shopping because I don't have a debit card? Like, this is kind of scary. Like, we have to pay attention.
Yeah.
You want to keep cash and you want to keep it circulating, because if they do shut everything down, guess what? For the first couple of weeks or whatever, whoever's got cash is king.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bartering is
And barter and trade will come back. That's what humanity will do, right?
Yeah.
Right? I always say, right, if I got strawberries and blueberries and Robin's got spinach and kale, or broccoli and kale, then we both got fruits and veggies if we trade.
I've been bartering all day, just for the record.
There you go, girl.
Got to go barter for lunch.
There you go. And bartering is so powerful, right? I do it with some energy healers, right? I had a quantum energy reading, right? And I can trade it for a birth chart or a transit chart or this and that. Like, it's very smart. So you want to think about, who am I and what skill do I have to offer when the sugar honey iced tea hits the fan, right? Like, what can I do? Can I massage people? Can I cook? Can I read birth charts? Can I do numerology? Can I fix cars?
Make medicine.
Can I make plant medicine? Can I do herbs? Can I do Reiki? Like, what you want to have a gift and a skill that is tradable, barterable, that's a new word, barterable. I got barterable skills,
Is that why? I keep saying, like, the creativity? Everyone needs to focus on their creativity. Is that the purpose behind it? Or?
Yes, but mainly for this chart, and we're looking at the 29th of November and the 15th, you got the moon here. We're in a mundane chart. The moon is representing the collective, all of us. We have the Chiron moon. So we still are trying to heal. Think about it. Think about how many people in our world, but in our lives, they don't fulfill their life's goals or destinies because what? They just are not brave and courageous and won't take a risk or initiate. That's what that Chiron moon is here in Aries for. And just so you know, Chiron does longer transits in Aries and Taurus than the rest of the signs. That's pretty deep to me. There's a reason for that, right? But we've got to work on our I am energy, being independent, brave, and courageous. That's what I'm saying. We have to honor the Aries in our lives. And the moon and right now the North Node there to January 11, 2025, and for this chart in the 5th house, it's not an accident. Go for it. Express yourself, speak from your heart, live from your heart, create from your heart. Nobody's better than you. Nobody's more special than you. You can get on Pinterest and sell freaking weird paintings of frogs just like anybody else. Okay? Like, for real. Wait. Come on, let's keep it real, y'all. Do you see some of the crap that people buy out in the world nowadays?
Yep.
Okay? Like, so think about it. You could start making astrology bracelets for dogs. Oh, my little Sparkle, he's a Taurus.
That's true.
Somebody will buy it? Yes, they will.
Oh, yeah.
I'm giving you some name right now.
All the dog lovers.
Yeah, the dog lovers. My Johnny, he's a Virgo. Oh my God, get a little dog collar with a little Virgo thing. How cute is that?
My dog's a water tiger. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, though. We have to really think. What is Aries also, you guys? Aries energy is the pioneering maverick. They're willing to push the envelope. That's why the sextile to Aquarius from Aries, right? It's very harmonious. Aries is the childhood genius. Aquarius is the old genius. Pioneering maverick. Aries is like, you know what a maverick is. Like, they're like, boom, they're just doing it. They're like wild, weird. People are like, what? You're such a maverick. Yeah. Because Aries is just going, they're doing.
I love that about Aries.
Yeah, so do I. Oh my God. My father was an Aries, so like I know it so well, but I have no Aries energy, all I got is my Chiron moon there,
Really?
So, but it's really powerful.
Some of mine.
I gave you some of mine.
Have some of your Aries energy? I know. Now, wait. I wanna touch on these two before we, wind down. This is, I think, kind of important. The 11th house, right? We have to look at the opposite house, the Libra South Node. This is important because over the internet and in your friends groups and organizations, the Libra South Node, what does it do? K2, dragon's tail, has no eyes, no direction. It wants spirituality. It cuts, separates, and divides. It is telling you, if someone is not bringing harmony, peace, fairness, and justice in your life, then F them, cut them out. Don't deal with no big bullcrap. Don't feel like you want to be so part of a group, but everybody in that group disrespects you. That's not your group. That's not your people. You tell them, I'm going to coffee talk with Eric because Eric loves his people, right? This is that. You want harmony and peace.
I had to do that, Eric, and I do have K2 actually in my Libra house, my first house.
Yeah, you're going through the nodal return, yeah.
I had to do that with my friends. Like, I seen some stuff I didn't like, and I just cut it off.
And that's beautiful, and that's what you should do, because think about it. Why would you let somebody, like, for example, right, you wouldn't just let a criminal come and spend time in your home. So even, they're not criminals, they're associates or friends or family, but why are you letting them make you feel less than, or them not encouraging, supporting you, or hating on you, or speaking down to you? Like, no. Because of what? Because of some rule or some, that's my sister, that's my cousin. So what? Your sister doesn't have the right to disrespect you.
Right. People need to speak up. People really need to speak up, and people really need to share how they feel with one another, because I find that people, they're just so fake. It's like they'll tell you one thing and do another thing. And it's like, if you don't call them on it, they just keep going.
Exactly.
But if you call them on
it either. They don't
no,
like
they
it
don't.
when you call them on it.
That's right.
They don't. And I just tell them, well, that's your choice. But you know what? This is my choice to speak, and it's my choice to tell you that whatever. And, and I don't back down. I really don't back down.
And
if I lose them as a friend or whatever, so be it. That's the way.
But you got to think about it. Are they really a friend?
No, that's the whole conversation.
There you go. And that's what we have to come to recognize. And that's what the Aries North Node and Saturn Retrograde, you guys, it's really speaking to, who am I? Because think about Pisces. Pisces doesn't have any boundaries. But Saturn's coming in and saying, no, it's time for us to clean this up. But it's the same thing with where you're seeing Saturn and Pisces. You're seeing things come out through the media and the television, right? The Nickelodeon stuff, the Diddy stuff, the Jay-Z stuff, the Drake, Kendrick, like all these different things you're seeing, because Pisces is film and photography. That's the television, the media, right? Yeah. It's not associated with media, but associated with film. Right? We see everything through that scope. Media is more like Gemini third house stuff, but Pisces is the illusion, the smoke, the confusion. There's no confusion with God.
Nope.
There's no lies with God. So Saturn is like, when it's retrograding, it's telling you like, listen, I'm giving you another chance to rethink this. We're going back over these degrees so you can, properly clean up the mess that you didn't address. Right now at the 19th degree, the lunar mansion behind that is Mercury. Communication. Speak up. Don't be deceived. Don't deal with deception. Don't deal with the lies. There is no confusion. Speak up. Aries North Node and Aries Moon. Assert your will and say, hey, don't talk to me that way. I love you, but if you can't respect me, then we can't hang out anymore. It's just that simple.
And you know how many people tell me, oh, I can't talk like that? Why can't I talk like that?
Exactly.
How did you just talk to me?
Exactly.
Trying to tell me a bunch of shit, and I'm supposed to digest that and say, okay, no, I don't buy that.
And ask for seconds.
What'd you say?
That's what they
Say,
and ask for seconds.
Don't ask for seconds.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
I've had so many.
Okay. That's funny.
I've just had so many people to say to me, I can't talk like that. And I'm like, yes, I can. And you're gonna tell me I can't talk like that?
Well, I gotta tell you, those people, they got some balls, the audacity for them to tell you how you can talk.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
But I want you guys to understand that that's what's going on right now. Because remember, I told you, they talk about World War III. World War III began a long time ago. It's spiritual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have to forgive people, but you can forgive them from afar. There may be, people could have spirits and demons attached to them, or they could just have such low self-esteem and such self-hatred that they might not even be cognitively aware of the craziness that comes out of their mouth when they talk to you or talk about you. And that's where you have every right to be like, no mas.
I had one of my friends come and telling me shit, and I called him on it and everything, and I just refused to forgive him. And I thought, no, this is not right, and I'm not saying one more word. Well, guess what? It took a week. He came back to me and he apologized and said he should have never spoke to me that way. And I said, you're damn right, you should have never spoke to me that way.
Good, see?
And he's a Christian.
No, you guys, that's good.
And he's a Christian.
This is the career, the public image, right? We're dealing with the Virgo here. And Humia is this goddess that gave birth to all these different islands. Actually, no, she's over here in Scorpio right now, okay, in foreign lands, so that's kind of fitting. But we've got the Lilith, the part of fortune in the midheaven, and Juno. So that's pretty important, right? And what I would say about this, we have to understand the importance and the call, because this Saturn at 19 is really opposing the midheaven and the Lilith and the part of fortune pretty exactly. You can see that. It's just a couple degrees off, right? 1-2 degrees off. So we have to check into our second brain, which is our gut, our root chakra, our intuition. Mm-hmm. Quite literally, our tribe could be Virgo, Sun, Moon, risings at this time. But the part of fortune is showing in public, we as a collective need to be of service to humanity, to one another. We need to share our light. We need to speak up, like you said, Pauline, share our wisdom, share our knowledge, and not be afraid to share, like, hey, have you ever tried meditating? Hey, have you ever had an astrology reading? Hey, do you know about numerology? Hey, do you ever try doing some iron or sea moss or magnesium or plant medicine? We have to, because Virgo is what? Of service, the wheat and the medicine.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, the Virgin Mary. Now, there's debate with Jesus. Mary was definitely a Virgo. I do believe Jesus was a Virgo, September 11th. Some people say 0 degrees Aries. Some people say,
You are almost done. Click above to get started.
Different things. But basically, what you need to know is that you need to feel things in your gut, in your root chakra. Yeah. Pheromones, hormones are yes, no response. That's the Lilith. Trust that. When you get those goosebumps in your arm and you're at work or you're in public, listen to it. If it's saying, no, Kimberly, don't talk to that person. Yes, Robin, go to that store. No, Pauline, don't take that friend back. Yes, Cheryl, take this job. no, Elizabeth, don't, talk to this person in public. We have to trust that and listen to it. Okay? This is your public image. This is your legacy, your reputation. This is out in the jungle, the 10th house, Lilith. And this is where, and I'm going to be honest, during this time, remember it's summer, in public, we can all be over-sexualized and hit on by men and women. That's that Lilith archetype and energy. So just be mindful of that too. Lilith in the 10th house is strong. I've had many clients tell me like, oh my God, yeah, I get hit on at work all the time. That's Lilith.
My Lilith is in Capricorn.
Capricorn?
Yeah.
Okay. What house? Fifth house.
Is it?
Yeah, you're Virgo rising. Yeah, Capricorn, fifth house.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and that's where when you are being creative, or even high school, college years, you could have people over sexualize you, but also try to reject you and repress energy around the creativity, your heart chakra.
Yeah.
And you could be speaking or creating from your heart, and people could be like, jealous and envy.
Yeah. I get that a lot. It's like it's a battle just to get, yeah, I get it.
Wherever you guys see Lilith in your chart, two things. One, a couple things. But number one, that is your tribe, that sign. So for here, right, it'd be Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising is your tribe of people. But two, wherever the Lilith is, you could deal with rejection, jealousy, envy, and people over-sexualizing you, and literally men and women hitting on you in the weirdest, most inappropriate ways. And if it's in the first house, you could just show up and you could just show up in a room and be like, Grand Rising. And people are like, what? Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Like, it's very strong.
Yes.
And Lilith, just so you know, it's strong. It's stronger in females' charts because it's a divine and dark feminine. And, and being the only man here, I'll be honest and say, most men in the patriarchal system, this is why they demonize Lilith, they cannot handle a strong, independent woman, and especially a woman who is in touch with her sensuality and sexuality. That brings fear to men. It shouldn't, but it does.
It does. I have it.
Yeah.
The 8th house and Taurus. It scares the hell out of them.
Yeah. And so you have to understand that and honor that and understand you're not doing anything wrong. But Lilith in houses 1, 4, 7, and 10, the angular houses, right? It's going to be stronger. And you're going to see in the first house where people reject you just for your energy and showing up. In the 4th house, you can deal with it, emotions, and then family and your childhood and mom, right? Rejection, repressed energy, sexualized. The 7th house, your marriage. Quite literally, your marriage partner, Lilith in the 7th house, I hate to say it, it's not 100%, but they can cheat on you. And you can get hit on in the marketplace. You could be signing a contract for a new cell phone and the guy's trying to pick you up.
Yep.
Right? You can be getting car insurance, life insurance, health insurance, and like, I'd like to be a part of your life. He's like, what? Stuff. I mean, seriously, that's Lilith in the 7th house. 10th house at work. I had a client, no exaggeration, I never would tell personal business, but just in terms of Lilith and Capricorn in the 10th house, the client told me that they would have older men at work hit on them all the time. That's Lilith, Capricorn, 10th house, quite literal. So I just want you guys to understand that. It doesn't mean it's not strong in 11 or 8 or, 3 or 5, 12. It's strong everywhere. But in the angular houses, it is like, whoa, powerful. Because those are the pillars of your chart of your life, right? Okay. So any other questions? I think that I would sum everything up with this Saturn retrograde period from June 29th to November 15th. We have to implore compassion, empathy, grace, and mercy for ourselves first. Okay. Self-love is on the docket 24/7, 365. We must have spiritual discipline. Do something. Do something every day, 15 to 30 minutes. Even if you start off with just 3 minutes, hey, that's a good job. Don't beat yourself up, but don't lie to yourself. Pisces, delusion, lying to ourselves. Don't lie to yourself and say, I'm too busy, I have no time. That's a lie. We all have time. Yep. Make the time. Whether it's at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, the break in the middle of the day, even if it's 3 to 5 minutes, hopefully you can get to 15 to 30, but put in the time. Just like you shower and clean your butt or brush your teeth every day, you can have some sort of spiritual practice every day. It doesn't have to be a marathon. Don't feel guilty. I only did 10 minutes. That you're putting 10 minutes into the spiritual bank. That's good.
Yep.
Better than 0 minutes, right? So do something. And then I beg of you, the healthy boundaries. Please, like take Pauline's thing, right? Like call people out. You Libra South Node this time. You do not have to accept people's mistreatment of you. I don't care if they're mom, dad, sibling, spouse, cousin, niece, nephew, daughter, son, neighbor, teacher, professor, coworker, boss. You do not have to accept that. We have every right, Aries North Node, to say, no, respect me. I am this, right? Okay, so that's what's on the docket. And listen, with the sun and Mercury, Venus, and 8th house of Cancer, tap into the ancient herbs, tap into getting some iron, some magnesium, get the sun. They're trying to tell you, now look, I don't know. It could be a fake sun. There could be all the stuff spraying with the chemicals, especially since the total solar Aries eclipse. People are saying it's a different sun and this and that, whatever. I don't know. It's hot as the dickens out there. I don't know if everything is climate change or HARP. I know that they have the power and they do manipulate and control the weather. We're going to have, look, I didn't talk about this one. This is a great way to end this. Right? What are we seeing here? Mars and Uranus in the 6th house of our everyday lives, our daily routine, our health. Mars and Uranus in Taurus, it's scorched earth. It's going to be a hot summer. A lot of people are already dying from the heat. There's fires all over. There's hurricanes, tornadoes. There's going to be tsunami. I mean, it's coming. Now, whether it's manipulated or real, it doesn't matter because we just got to deal with it. Mars. And then also with this, be mindful. Don't be in a rush driving around, running your errands in a car. Don't be in a rush to get to the hospital. No, slow down. Mars and Uranus in Taurus, 6th house, there can be a lot of sudden events and accidents. Mars cuts, separates, divides. It's blood, procedures, surgeries. Okay? It's weapons. Now, yes, in terms of sicknesses, Mars can, in the 6th house, where it's in its planetary joy, it can burn off sicknesses and illnesses. But that also means we have to be building up our immune system. Take your minerals, take your vitamins, take your pre and probiotics. You know, be intentional about your health. Get the fruits and veggies. Okay? Even if you love to eat meat, that's fine. But please add in the fruits and veggies. You need them, especially the fruit. That's God's candy. H3O, that's the best way to get hydrated. Get your melons, okay? But we're going to be fine. This is a good time. And the more that you put into your spiritual bank, with Saturn, retrograde and Saturn in Pisces at this time, you're going to really honor Saturn and have these karmic and spiritual blessings, okay? So it's really an exciting time. And it's a good time to be, spiritually connected and also just so you know, you guys are aware of so much.
For you. But anyway, talk to you later.
Okay,
Bye.
cool. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
Have
bye.
an awesome
Bye,
weekend.
Elizabeth.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Bye, you guys.
You too.
All right. Thanks for coming to Coffee Talk. All right.